See, when we use the word peak, naturally you want to go mountain climbing. That means you want to do something others cannot do, not necessary, because the peak is not in what you're doing. Outside the peak is in the way you experience it. Somebody can do something very small, you can do something very small, very profound. Experience somebody can be doing big things without any sensitivity to what's happening around them. So essentially what you're looking for, just look at this as your cell life. Right now, you become so many social entities. You will be lost in that. But I feel you're alive. Most people are alive only when they are threatened with death. Till then, there's something else. They become so many other things. No matter what work you're doing here, you're just a piece of life, isn't it? It is a fortune. Things happen through us which will impact many other lives. Wonderful, but no. But still, this is a life only if this life functions in its best possible way. Everything else will happen best possible way means what is this very clear that you are not taking your own apartment when your own apartment when you die. You're not taking they're not taking getting very nice apartments and you're not going to take it, right? Your own accommodations, you can't carry, you know that. So obviously, the only thing that is left here is the profoundness of your experience, isn't it? Profound is your experience to make our life profound. Somebody says, if you have education, you can do this well. Everybody went to the university. Didn't somebody said you have money? You can do it, everybody. Ran after it, somebody said, you can get married, it will happen. Everybody got married. Somebody said, you have children, then it will happen, everybody. Did that? Somebody said, this is not it. You must get power in the world, so people ran after that. Essentially, what should happen inside you're trying to cause from outside? What should actually happen within you? You're trying to cause it from outside. Yes, it is possible. Sometimes it can be stimulated from outside, but it has to happen within you. All human experience comes from within you, is that so your joy and misery, pain and pleasure, anything ecstasy can only happen from within. The question is only your joy, your peace, your love, your ecstasy. Is it on push start or is it on self start? Upgrading technologies, there was a time in 1950s or 1950s, if you bought a car, you needed two people to help you in the morning because it's a push start. If you got in early 60s, it's a crank start. On an early 60s, it's a crank start. You need one our cars are self-start, right? Technological. Color cars are self-start, right? Technological. Upgradation things which are most vital to the profoundness of your experience, the pleasantness of your experience here. But right now, it's all in push start. If you have to be happy, how many people we have to fix in this world? If you have to be peaceful, we have to be peaceful. We have to fix the entire world. So there's an endless amount of conditions for your experience to be in a certain way. And in pursuit of human well-being, we've turned the world side down, we've ripped the planet apart, but still we are not. We are not the most joyful generation. We are definitely the most calm generation we should ever. Never before another generation of people have enjoyed these kind of conveniences and comforts as you and me are enjoying, right? No, isn't it so? Never before. But can we say with all these comforts we are the most joyful generation? No, not true. I'm not saying we're more miserable, but more miserable. Are not the most joyful. Are we peaceful? No. Are we loving also? Our experience of life is still like how the caveman's experience was. Same anxiety. That guy was worried. Where's my food? You are worried? Where is my next apartment? Endlessly, you think it's different. It's not different. It's rudimentary. Isn't it hello the idea of organizing our survival process the way we have organized is? We need not be concerned about it, isn't it? So, hello, you open the tap, water comes. Don't think it's small. It's a small thing just 100 years ago. Water means you have to go to the river with a pot on your head. So today, all this convenience that we get. Yeah, because we don't have to concern ourselves. Daily survival. Everything is organized now. We believed if all these things are organized, we will sit here blissed out well. But well, so not happened, simply because we have not taken charge of this. So peak of human life does not mean you've climbed Mount Everest. I have gone. Everest, you know that you didn't know somebody went up there and took a photograph with my picture in his hand. So I believe I've been there more sensible too. Because this guy who went there took a picture with my picture in his hands, guru of 12 people that we started out, only two of us made it to the top. And I took picture and I came down. We were there just about 40 seconds right on the top because winds were picking up speed. We had to come down. Only 40 seconds. I looked around and you're thinking, and it came down now. I'm wondering why did I do it? Because we wanted to know the people suffering. Suffering is not simple physical challenge. Climbing Everest is not a simple physical challenge. I'm not saying you should not climb. All I'm saying is the peak can only happen within you. It will not happen outside of you. So if the peak and the valley and the very bottom can only happen within you, people can sit in a palace and be depressed like they at the pit of their life, isn't it? So, hello. If that is possible, you can sit on the street and be on the peak. You're paying too much attention to everything around you. Not enough attention to this one, but the quality of your life is your life. Determined by how you carry this one. Yes or no, this moment. What kind of clothes you're wearing. What kind of car you parked outside. What kind of home you live in does not determine the quality of your life this moment. How joyful are you feeling within yourself determines the quality of our life. Isn't it nothing has been done about it? You think it will happen in consequence and you are setting impossible goals for your happiness. If I have to be happy, my wife should be like this, my husband should be like this, my are impossible conditions you're setting for your happiness and peacefulness now that you have compromised yourself to peace. Why I'm saying compromise yourself to pieces? Because a lot of people have given up aspirations for being ecstatic or blissful. If I'm just peaceful, it's enough. Even the so called spiritual leaders are going about and saying peace is the highest goal in your life. Peace is not the highest goal in your life. If you want to enjoy your lunch today, you must be peaceful. Yes or no? If you're not eating, then you want to. To be peaceful essentially means this that you're not messing your mind. To be peaceful means that your system is at ease. You know how to conduct your mind. You know how to conduct your emotions, your body, and your energies. You are peaceful. It's not a rocket technology. It is the most basic thing. Have a dog at home. You give him his food, easy, maybe nothing. Eggs on, right? Activity that you're doing, it's got something to do with the internal systems as to how they're functioning. Essentially, it means either neither your body nor your mind or your chemistry nor your emotions nor energy are taking instructions from you. They're doing their own thing once your machine not in your control. Being peaceful is impossible. I'll tell you. You get into your car and now you go there. Turn this way, you do this to the steering. It goes this way. Can you peacefully drive this car? Can you know? Anxiety is natural. As out of happen to a vehicle, it's out of control, you never have done anything. Car, this is a super computer now. The problem is most people have not even bothered to find the keyboard they're thinking. If they do this somehow, it will work music when you're given such a highly sophisticated machine. If you do not conduct it properly, it will cause many problems to you by accident. This is made this way. If you hold your hands, you can try it. If you are, if you, I am saying. Turn it around the very way you breathe. You breathe, you breathe. By self-change, you can drive this way. Everything that you do, fundamental changes are happening in this machine because it's such a sophisticated machine. It's more than a touch screen. If you just wish it, it will happen when you have such a sensitive and sophisticated machine. And you are operating like a that seems to be difficult. Peace is not the highest goal in your life. It is the most fundamental requirement. Don't ever set peace as the highest goal. It's the highest goal. You rest in peace, foreign, rest, foreign, rest in peace, foreign. Be peaceful. It's the first thing in your life, isn't it? If you want to do anything sensibly in your life, think sensibly in your life. If you want to conduct any situation in your life sensibly, be peaceful and happy. It's fundamental music. Thank God, happen for music. To make it tension, anger, resentment, hatred, they have turned it that way. Now they will claim. This is because life has been unfair to me. Life has not been fair to anybody. Life is simply rolling. To learn, to ride it. To ride it, sometimes we are in uncomfortable situation. Sometimes we're in a comfortable situation. Sometimes we are in situations where we know exactly what to do, and sometimes we're in situations where we don't know what to do. Sometimes somebody else is controlling the situation. Sometimes you control the situation. This is how life is. So at least if you're constantly into unfamiliar situations in your life, that means you are growing at a rapid pace. If you are in constantly uncomfortable situations, that means you are a stagnant life. So if you look for comfort, if you look for a comfort zone, because the moment your thoughts and emotions are going to turn you with external stimulant, external stimulation that happens, what will you choose? You will choose a comfort zone. This means you will limit your life so the moment somebody can cause you pain or suffering, this means unknowingly you will make the very scope of your life very limited only when a person loses this fear of suffering that no matter what happens, this is how I will be. If this assurance comes to you, then you walk full stride with whatever happens in the life around you. It will not really make you suffer once you are free from suffering. Only when you are free from suffering. When you're free from the fear of suffering, that is when you will explore your life in full depth and dimension. Let one human being honestly say, when you're with your most loving parents, however doting and wonderful they were to you, that felt, ever felt that felt is not where you want to be. Dishonest human being, because love gets tedious. Some bodies, fondness gets very tedious. Comfort gets tedious because the nature of life is it wants to constantly expand. If there is no room for expansion, it doesn't matter. You are kept in whatever I won't use, because every word uses the word golden. I think Golden Palace is totally anesthetic in my visual perception. I hate golden. But whatever is the most wonderful palace, whatever you will, it will guess all the heaven bound people. They don't know how bored they will be within 3 days in that place of goodness. I'm saying it doesn't matter. It's not because there's something wrong with your parents. They may be most wonderful people, but the very nature of a human being is such only if you're a pet animal. If you have reduced yourself to that, you're just happy with the means that you're getting, and somebody is fondling you once in a way, and you're happy with that. For that, you must be a pet animal. To not be born as a human being. Once you're born as a human being, it is natural wanting to break barriers. So when you're young as a child or a teenager, you think barriers means they're all physical before you understand the barriers are not real. Yes, are not real. Physical own house, or you live in your parents' house, or you live in a slave master's house. The house and walls are not the barrier. It is all within us before you realize that, or how soon you realize that will lead to either transformation or frustration. I would say that no human being who is not confronted with a thought and an emotion like that, but they manage to brush us aside. It doesn't bother them enough. The pain of not knowing doesn't tear them. That's the whole problem. They come to terms with ignorance. They make a deal with ignorance. They will build ignorance. They will build relationships where everybody will confirm this is the best way to live of comfort, companionship, love, affection. These are all things you're seeking. I know a whole lot of people have raised human emotions to heavens. If you say love, they say divine love. If you say joy, they say divine joy. If you say bliss, they say divine bliss music. You divine bliss. You need any gods. To be joyful, loving, peaceful as a human being, you end out with these qualities. Qualities who deprive themselves of that, they either see God or they settle for a dog. Yeah, usually because they want a unconditional love. This is a demand music because the nature of love is such that flower, if you don't watch it for 2 minutes, it'll fall. It'll wither and fall right there. You want to let fall, or you have to nourish it every moment, or you have to concretize it. That means you take a picture and keep it on your phone screen, or you institutionalize it with marriage, or this marriage, or this. Oh, that's so essentially. Well, I'm not against any institution. Those institutions are needed in the world to operate. Otherwise, there is a different thing, but you cannot institutionalize joy. He cannot institutionalize joy. Peace, united. United. Cannot institutionalize peace. You cannot institutionalize joy. You cannot institutionalize love or anything for that matter. The institutions are function instruments and instruments. In a given society, I have utmost respect for them. Because without it, a whole lot of people, a whole lot of people would. Institutions, there is a government, there is a democratic process, there are party of things, all right, there are courts, there are parliament. Well, 90% of the time, some so I'm not talking against institution, but institutionalizing things that happen within a human being is a silly effort. On music, how do I enhance my competence? Say, let's say you want to run on the field. Work on right now, you have to work on your legs and lungs and muscle and everything, isn't it? So, if you want to become a great engineer, yes, definitely an institute like this is crucial on one level. But a number of people might have come here and gone. Not all of them became great engineers. Though they might have produced hundreds of great engineers, still not all of them will become simple because of their own individual attitudes and competence and whatever else, isn't it? So, whatever the institute can do for you, it is doing one foremost thing that you need to do is to enhance your own physical and mental capabilities. Because if you want to be a good engineer, you need a working brain just having a degree of engineering. Okay, maybe a passport to a job, but it is not a passport to success, isn't it? So to have a working brain, which the engineering degree will not free you. When people acquire degrees, they freeze their brain, saying they have finished choosing it, and now they can rest it for the rest of their lives. It is not so. This is only to enhance your capability. This is just an organized effort, a scarce call, an institute is to choice. That's me, choice. Choice. Why an institution? Otherwise, an institution has no other purpose. It is here to just organize that possibility of you striving to be of a certain competence. And your bias applicable. But as an individual, your most important thing is you as a human being. Fullest level, if that has to happen, there are other dimensions which one needs to explore. Unfortunately, though the sciences and technologies for inner well-being have been the mainstay of this culture for thousands of years, today we don't want to imitate somebody else. We don't want to imitate our grandfather Topiwala anymore from another country. Because of that, we are losing those things. But we lose things. We should not. We have to bring it back into our life. This is very much a part of the way the culture itself is structured. All about the human being. See, this is the only culture which talks about which even an illiterate person in this culture is aware of that. You can actually evolve to another dimension of existence. Even if I go into your village and talk to an illiterate peasant who has not read anything, who doesn't. Anything who's not heard any of this stuff, even to him, if I go, he will not ask me. Give me a golden horse or something. He's saying he wants ultimate liberation. Where did this fellow? Fellow get this now. Fellow get this nowhere else. Nowhere else on the planet. There's a possible that is a possible. Illiterate person is thinking that he can break his present dimension of existence and go to another place, whatever that place is. So this was bred into our culture so deep. We should not lose it. It was not just the idea. That is the technology to become free. You became free from the process of body and the process of your mind. If you can sit outside of it and work it, you would work it brilliantly. Brilliantly stand, you would be able to use this body and use this mind only when you're able to not treat it as myself. These are powerful instruments in your life. These instruments employed the way you want it. Only when you have an outside access to it, we are social animal. A human being, social animal, and particularly in modern time, the reality economy environment, and many things heavily interdependent. This is reality, unlike, I think, past sorrow as the ancient time, ancient. Time more or less independent, self-sufficient. This will not depend on your interest or your future, not depend on other. Now completely changed. So even from the selfie point, you have to take care about others. Well-being is think of yourself. The well-being is think of yourself. The blind, selfish can be yourself. Forget others. Wasting, exploit, other cheating, others ultimately. You suffer through these mischievous ways. You may gain some temperature sort of benefit, but in deep inside you feel uncomfortable. Then where will you chill? You truly become a person. You will be lovely as you. Nobody loves you or you respect you if you favor others human. Brother, sister, silly music, then everybody become your friend. So when you have truly trusted friends, something you can ask them if you're becoming friendless, a lonely person, and when you're really facing some problems, nobody you can share. So ultimately, we are social animals or even other animals. No, no. Survival depend on rest of the community or herds. So they work together. I am another individual out of 7 billion human being, if human being. A rested human being, happy, peaceful. I get maximum benefit. The rest of the world get trouble. How can I say that? People one or two, one people or one person or 10 people, 100, 0, 10, 0, 100, 0. I always consider them as my brothers, sisters. That brings me in mental level. Completely relax. If I feel I'm something different from them, some nervousness, some anxiety may develop. So once you're aware, thinking open, reach out them as a close friend. That tremendous sort of benefit is our mind. Then others also feel no longer feel strange or another human brought us like that, so that I think visually. Nowadays we really need that. So through that way, awareness from children, the youngsters, I think, they know that as one child remain lonely, may cry and play with other children, feel very happy music. So this is human. So sometimes we've grown up. Then we always calculate. So I make friendship with how much I get some benefit of big friendship. Then I can exploit or something. Then I can exploit or something. Then genuine basis of friendship no longer there. Destroyed basis of genuine friendship is trust. Depend on openness by that. So through these things, in train, and then mental level. No matter what your physical level, because you're on mental level, relax, all relax, men's benefit for your health. Mental health, body health very closely. So the ultimate source of mental health is wall-martedness. That's my belief, may be wrong. A friend have to research more research work.